A 29-year-old Nigerian man named Mubarak Bala came out as an atheist. Now, that's a difficult thing to do in the United States of America. Never mind doing it in a little Nigerian town named Kano, which adopted Sharia law in the year 2000. So, that's a scary situation, man, and you have to have balls to do that, because what's the punishment for that in Islam? Death. Death. But he did it anyway. I guess he had faith that his family would not react in such an extreme way. Well, for his honesty and his openness, he was rewarded by being medicated and detained and being held against his will at a psychiatric ward. They're holding a guy in a psychiatric ward because he said, "I don't believe your silly little myths." So what happened is he told his family, then his family immediately took him to see a doctor, naturally, because when you say, "I don't believe in this religion," it's like a toothache. You know, or it's kind of like you have some sort of a bacterial infection or bronchitis. They go, "Oh, you must be sick." So they took him to see the doctor. The doctor said he was fine, which, by the way, leads me to believe that that doctor might also be a closet atheist in a very religious area. And, I mean, if we're dealing with a doctor, chances are that it's an intellectual person very high, because to become a doctor, I don't know what the standards are like, but to become a doctor, you have to be pretty fucking smart. And he said he was fine, so how did the family react? Well, they couldn't believe it. They simply couldn't believe that their son, who doesn't believe in fairies and Mother Goose, is okay. So they went to see a second doctor, and that doctor said, "Oh, this is a problem." So this doctor's not nearly as smart as the first one. He goes, "Oh, he's suffering from a personality change." A personality change. You mind showing that to me in your med school textbook? Oh, that's right, you can't do that. Because that's not something to worry about. Everybody has good days, everybody has bad days, everybody is excited sometimes and more tranquil other times, or, you know, they're more outgoing. I mean, probably 80% of college kids, when they go from high school and then they go away to college, all of a sudden their personality changes. Does that mean that they're sick? Does that mean they have fucking Ebola? No, not at all. No, there's nothing wrong with that. So when that happened, the dad decided, "I'm not going to stand for this. Put him in a psych ward ASAP. And apparently the doctor said, the second doctor, the asshole, said, quote, "Everyone needs a god. Even in Japan, they have a god." I don't even know what that means, but I know it's a needless jab at Japan. No, everyone doesn't need a god, and your condescending attitude towards Japan is 100% misplaced, because clearly you're the fucking idiot here, not the Japanese. I love people, you see this all the time. People who are like, you know, townies from around the world. You know, townies mean they've never left their area. They're totally, you know, they take to heart everything about their own culture. They're all like, they always think, "Oh, everybody else is wrong about everything, and I'm right about everything." He's like, "Well, everybody needs a god. The assholes in Japan even have a god." So he's trying to say, "Oh, everybody else, they're so inferior. The Japanese, even they have a god, those inferior assholes." And again, the irony is your belief system makes you inferior, you douchebag, because you're so sure that your god is right to the point where you're cool with locking up this poor guy in a fucking psych ward because he doesn't agree with you. Even this guy's brother said, quote, "All the atheists I see have mental illness at some point in their lives." No, they don't. I'm an example right here. In fact, most atheists I know, or agnostics or secular people, however you want to describe them, just people who don't buy into specific religions. They don't buy into different dogmatic belief systems. By and large, those people in my life seem to have their shit together more often. And it probably has something to do with the fact that they're truth seekers, that they actually care about the nature of reality and they care about what's happening in this life, and they're skeptical. And they go around the world and they say, okay, I don't want to get fucked over here. I don't want people to bullshit me. I got to navigate my way through this crazy thing we call life and search for the truth. And those are people usually pay their bills on time much more often. They get better jobs. It's not 100% across the board, but the point I'm trying to make is that maybe there was a time back before we had an answer for why we look so designed. Evolution describes that, evolution through natural selection, and we didn't have science and enlightenment to figure out what's actually going on in the world, that the best answer we had back then in primitive times was this vague notion of gods and this vague idea of religion. But that's no longer the case. So it's not true anymore that, oh, if somebody's not religious, they're just an outcast. They're just somebody who can't fit into society and they're immoral or they're unintelligent or they don't get it like the rest of us get it. No, in today's day and age, actually it's become the reverse now, where if you still believe in these old school Bronze Age desert myths that are right up there with fucking Mother Goose and stupid fairy tales, stories about, at least with Christianity, Jewish zombies that fly bodily to heaven and then come back from the dead. I mean, really, we're having this conversation? A man lived to 900 years old and got every animal on a boat to fuck and save the world. The world is only 6,000 years old. The world is flat. If you read some verses in the Quran, Sam Harris has, in his book, he lays out, it's like, I don't even know how many pages, a lot of pages where he gives the literal quotes from the Quran that say, kill the infidel in this situation, kill the infidel in that situation, kill, 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 kill. If you can look at these different books, whether it's, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, or the Quran, and you don't walk away saying, that was a little weird. That doesn't strike me as all true. It seems a little bit outdated, a little bit, maybe there's at least some parts that don't really make sense. If you don't walk away saying that, you're the one that has mental issues.